Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is a red walking robot. It was released in 2025 on a PS4, and it's a platformer. Developed by Yacc and published by Dojo System, and also will be some spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So, I had a complete brain fart this week on what to play, like usual every week when I try to pick a game actually. And I looked on PSN as usual and I found this game. So when you start up the game, you get a bunch of company logos and then you get to pick between new player and settings, and more options will open up as you play. And then you get to create a profile, like a save file with name and all, picking between normal and hard difficulty. And then you get a cutscene of the robot actually being built, and then you get to start the game with a bunch of tutorials. The D-pad and left sticks moves the robot, and it's also control the speed. And the camera angle is more or less fixed to the back side of the robot, or with specific scenes, if that makes sense. So during the adventure you can pick up these winding keys that, they're used in old watches and old toys, and these act as checkpoints to add time and energy for the robot. So the plot of this game is really simple. You are this little red robot that goes through a workshop solving environmental puzzles, which are mostly physics based. So on the screen you can see how many times you failed, how many times you've fallen over, that is, how much time and energy you have left, and the number of wind-up mechanisms you picked up, and I think the total number was 58. So the only advice I can give with this game is to take it really easy, because the robot will tip over for almost anything, and it doesn't help that this game has tank controls. But the robot is kind of cute anyway. He makes these chirpy sounds when he picks up things and moves on. So the first useful item you pick up is the laser guns, and they are basically guns that you shoot with the R2 button, but they can also overheat if you use them too much. So later up in the game you can choose to go through a balancing act in a maze, or you can go guns or blazing, it's your choice. And even later in the game you pick up a jetpack, and this is very finicky to use. You fire it up with the R2 button and then you stabilize with the right stick, but I never could get it to work perfectly. And here's where my frustration started with the game, because I was supposed to cross between two empty steel drum barrels, but I always toppled over and fall and failed and died. And the more times the robot toppled over and failed, the angrier and frustrated he became, until he eventually starts to cry and curse. And at this point I was more or less fed up with the game, and I went on YouTube and tried to figure out what I was doing wrong. So I found this playthrough with a guy actually struggling just as much as I did. And it's just, whoever made this robot wanted him to suffer apparently. But the game also has a pitch black segment when the only illumination comes from the robot's eyes, making it extra hard to see where you're going. And the creator must be some sort of evil bastard, because he eventually pitched this robot up against robotic dinosaurs and bot spiders. And I don't know, this game was not worth it in my opinion. It was kind of a miserable game actually. So gameplay: control the little red wind-up robot through the puzzle platformer maze while collecting wind-up keys. Control, the left stick is movement, R2 is fire, L2 is jetpack, and the right stick is jetpack stabilization, which I never got to work, and the option menu brings up the main menu. Sound and music. Atsushi, Moria, and DJ Gainchi made the soundtrack for this game, and the music is light and happy and has a retro vibe to it. Easter egg seekers and glitches. Since this is a PS4 game, there are trophies, and one of the trophies are falling down to the floor and landing on your feet. And that will trigger the floor is lava, where the robot will sink through the floor like it's lava. And there's a little bit of a missed opportunity here, because they could have done a Terminator 2 reference here with the thumbs up and everything, but they didn't go for it. So in conclusion I wrote, no, I can't recommend this game. So the little robot is actually cute and charmy and chirpy, but he suffers so much throughout the game. And the big problem is the clunky controls, the tank controls, the jetpack segments, and you cannot move backwards, you can only move forward and stop. And after playing through half of the game, I had like 50 deaths already. I was like, why should this robot suffer so much? This is just a terrible game. And I was not happy. I was kind of frustrated, and I couldn't keep on playing. I was actually pretty sad when I turned off the console. I was like, this is like a casual game disguised as like a Dark Souls game, man. And I was like, oh, this is so terrible. I can't recommend this game. Go play anything else but this, and you will be so much more happier than I was. So anyway, thank you for listening and or watching, and take care.